Alex's Journey into Awesomeness. Hey guys, and welcome back to Journey into Awesomeness. I am Alex, and today we're going to be doing another episode of our limited series on Catalog of Unabashed Gratitude by Ross Gay. So if you haven't gotten this book, check it out. Please get it. Please support him and his awesome poetry about really taking the mundane things, some mundane things in life, some beautiful things and out there things too, but a lot of mundane things in life, and then just bringing out that sublime beauty of them. Really getting and understanding gratitude on a base level. And I think that's really what I want to do with these poems is really form that base level of gratitude for yourselves, for me, because I need it as much, if not more than most. So this is great practice for me. So stand by for the next poem. So today it's going to be Ode to the Puritan in Me. There is a Puritan in me, the brim of whose hat is so sharp it could cut your tongue out, with a brow so furrowed you could plant beets or turnips or something, of course good for storing. He has not taken a nap since he was about 2 years old, because he detests sloth above all. He is maybe the only person I've ever heard say sloth or detest in conversation. He reads poetry, the Puritan in me, with an X-Acto knife in his calloused hand, if not a stick of dynamite. And if the Puritan in me sees two cats making whoopee in the barn, I think not, because they get in the way or scare the cows, but more precisely, because he thinks it is worthless, the angels of animals fucking freely in the open air. He will blast them to smithereens, I should tell you. The Puritan in me always carries a shotgun. He wants to punish the world, I suppose, because he feels he needs punishing. For who knows how many unpunishable things, like the times as a boy he'd sneak shirtless between the cows to haul his tongue along the salt lick, or how he'd study his dozing granny's instep, like it was the map of his country. Or the spring nights he'd sneak to the garden behind the sleeping house and strip nude, while upon him lathered the small song of the ants, rasping their tongues across the peony's sap making of his body, a dappled flower tree. While above him the heavens wheeled, and his tongue lolled, slack as a creek, on the banks of which, there he is, right now, the Puritan in me, tossing his shotgun into the cattails, taking off his boots, and washing his feet in that water. So I'm getting used to the rhythm of his poetry, which it's quite lilting, and it's very interesting, so I ask you to forgive me for that. But I find this poem fascinating. Two things come up for me. Number one, the end of Matthew in the Bible, it says, "Be perfect, as your God, as your Father in heaven is perfect." So that rings a bell for me, for this. And the other thing is a perfectionist. So what do I mean by that? Be perfect as your God and as your Father in heaven is perfect. That to me seems to say there is a standard to meet, but that standard is in ourselves, as opposed to a perfectionist who is never ready to put out, or she's never ready to put out her art or her work or anything because she wants it to be perfect so that it doesn't get criticized. And I know, I feel that. I oftentimes am a perfectionist in what I try to put out into the world, whether it's my poetry, whether it's writing of any kind, movies, or acting. I want it to be beyond reproach. And I think the difference, the main difference, and the thing to be grateful for is turning that inward and saying, look, I got to ship this work out into the world. Whether it's perfect in other people's eyes, whether they criticize it, that's outside of my control. And it's not something I should or could or worry about. Whereas turning that gaze inside and saying, being perfect, cultivating yourself, and being grateful for the things in your life always, on a moment-to-moment basis, as best as you can, as much as you can. That leads towards that inner perfection, which is really the only thing that matters at the end. Am I right? Let me know. Give me a comment down below. Till next time, that's what I got for you. See ya.